The golden age of America begins right now.
Let's go. Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Golden Age podcast. We are on episode 10. This is episode 10, and I think we're going pretty strong, and we have a good panel of guests with us today. And to start out, how are you doing, Corn Boy? Thanks for being here.
Great as always. Can't wait to see what we're going to get into today. It's always a great time. Thanks for
That's right. I like the hat, too, so that's awesome. And down to Magnum. Magnum, how you doing? I like your flag.
Yeah, I just came out of the closet today, so figured I'd rep that flag, so
get us some DEI points for the LGBT. So
oh yeah. So I'm ready to see. I haven't followed too much of the news this week. I'm sure you got a lot for us, so I'm excited.
Yes, we do. And then we have our special guest, Jeff up north. How you doing, man? Thanks for being here.
Yeah, good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Very good. We've been wanting to have you on for a while, so it's good to finally have you on the show.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Absolutely. And before we get into things, I just want to give a shout out to the chat. As always, we got Atomic Patriot. How you doing, bro? We got Nerd Slap. We got Just JK. We got Alex. And we got Corn Boy. And we also have
Who's that?
Irwin's New Potato. Whoever Irwin's New Potato is, we're still yet to figure this out. We have ABF. Not sure what he's insinuating there, but we will get on with that. And then we have First in chat, Vagabond. So appreciate seeing you guys here. And we got Bat Sauce. How you doing, man? So it's good to see you guys. As always, before we get into the super serious stuff, we've got about 4 or 5 tabs of some more lighthearted, funnier things to ease us into this news week. And so as we get into that, let's check out. We have President Trump talking about the N-word. So do you guys know the N-word? Are you familiar with the N-word? He'll explain it to you. He's talking with Brett Baer, and we're going to discuss the N-word, I guess. So
stronger. To a point where the next one's going to be, you know what? The N-word. You know what the N-word is, right?
What is the N-word?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I figured you'd want to clean that up. No, it's the N-word. That's a very nasty word, right? In a lot of ways. The N-word used in
does have a hard R.
Worst thing that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Stronger.
He put a hard R at the end of that. He didn't even say nuclear. He said nuclear. So
I thought he was going to say neighbor.
Must be serious.
Yeah, my neighbor. So yeah. And he's President Trump just out here dropping hard R's. So after the N-word. So got to respect it. And hail Naganol, hail Jake.
Good to see you would appreciate that.
Yeah, and what's that? We got a Naggard Null in chat. So one more funny thing. I don't know. I'm sure everybody here knows Theo Vaughn. Theo Vaughn's a pretty awesome comedian. He's gotten a little more based over time, and it's been cool to see. So yeah, I like the guy. So here we can see Theo Vaughn randomly ends up in Qatar, put on a stage by President Trump to entertain U.S. troops at Al Udeid Air Base. And he says, if you're hiring me to go over there and help with peace, things are not going to go good. Let's see what Theo Vaughn had to say over.
I promise you, this is definitely court order. I'm just getting out of some time. They said, dude, you want to go to the Middle East? And I'm like, the Middle East of what? Like, what do you even mean? You mean like
Michigan?
You guys want? They're like, no, dude, the Middle East where the peace
Middle
is.
East.
I'm like, oh shit.
Definitely not the Midwest.
Yeah, if you're hiring me to go over there and help with peace, then things are not good.
So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm a big fan of Theo. Have any of you guys ever watched him like on any podcast, Joe Rogan or anything? Like sit down, not stand up, but like interview. Anyone ever watched him at all?
Oh yeah, I don't remember which one specifically, but his podcast is huge.
Yeah,
I see his clips all the time. Those are
I was going to say his clips
sweet.
that I see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a very observant guy. He notices some interesting stuff, and I think he's pretty cool. So pretty based. I listened to him on Joe Rogan's podcast, and I was very impressed. I think he plays the whole dummy act, but he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
Along the lines of funny stuff too. Breaking news is that DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, is reportedly reviewing a proposal for a reality TV show in which immigrants could compete in various challenges for a chance to fast-track their U.S. citizenship. The show is titled The American, was pitched by producer Rob Warsoff, known for his work on Duck Dynasty. So immediately, this gives me Running Man vibes, the old Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and just the camera follows you around. But
If
what
it's
do you
not
guys
American
think?
Gladiator style, I'm not into it though.
Yeah, so I'm totally like, so I was always for. I don't know if you heard the George Carlin joke where they would take people from prison and they would just have them like fight to the death, and everyone could enjoy watching.
Yeah, he said take over Colorado and like fence it all in and give him a weapon. Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm
gives me those
totally
vibes.
I'm totally for this, and a lot of people will probably enter the competition if you get like, and maybe if you get like top 10 or something, you can get in line first or something. I don't know.
Absolutely, yeah.
But
just
yeah,
thought
you
it was
gotta.
funny.
The point is, you gotta earn your way. You gotta earn your way into this country. You can't just,
Right.
cross the border illegally. So
Yeah,
Fight
we
to
are
the
a
death,
merit-based
that's it.
society, and I mean, you can come in, do all the paperwork, or fight to the death, your choice, I guess. So we'll see. I highly doubt it, but it's being entertained nonetheless, and I think it's kind of funny. And we got Snapple Rai Rai, good to see you, man. We got John Ambler, we got Rizkit. Good to see you guys. I always like checking in with the chat. We got the best people here, so appreciate it. We have one more thing before we get into the more serious stuff. Actress Sydney Sweeney, who's well known by many in the community, endorsed the Crusades in a recent interview.
hell yeah.
Pretty based. Her official quote was, "They were in fact defensive." The famous star adding that it is important to remember that the Middle East was predominantly Christian before the Arab conquests. And that is factually true. And this was largely defensive. It was not how the Hollywood media likes to make it out to be, these horrible, bigoted, horrible, conquering, oppressive Christians. There was many people in history that did horrible things in the name of Christianity. But overall, I think this is a factual statement, historically speaking.
Yeah, the Turks were terrorizing the area
were.
for centuries, and they took it over basically. And the Crusades was the response, like drive them out, basically. So,
Absolutely.
and you could say it went back and forth quite a bit, and it's not all one side, and that's always how it is with everything, right? But I'm on the right side, and they're on the wrong one. That's what I say. So
I agree.
I want to bring back the Crusades.
I'm saying Christianity has done a lot better
God,
for civilization
Round
than
three.
Islam has. So,
That's an undeniable fact.
Mhm.
Yeah. Absolutely. So
And
I think
hopefully this new pope is kind of based. He seems a little bit okay, but maybe we talk about it later. I don't know, but
he has urged
we will be bringing that up.
Christians in the Middle East to hold out to your homeland. So,
And he did say something pretty based too. He said Christians are God's chosen people, and that flies in the face of
yeah,
certain
The
people
last
in the
pope,
media
at
don't like
least.
that too much. Yeah,
pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah, so
Great.
what a concept. I'm not Catholic myself. I'm Protestant, but it's very interesting to see in my lifetime Catholics electing a Catholic pope. Very interesting concept.
An American one.
And
Well,
an
they'll
American
say
one.
he's Peruvian. Sophie will argue he's Peruvian, but
He's Chicago.
Nah, he's a Chicago boy. He's a Chicago boy. He's a American through and through. So, be pretty cool if we got a pope out to the gun range at some point. See him
just as long as his brother has a direct line. to Bay State.
Dispensing
I know.
justice one bullet at a time, or not justice, but it'd be whatever.
dispensing holy
Great
blood.
sacraments.
Sing Holy Sacrament one bullet at a time.
So we're gonna get into something a little deeper here. This was posted. Joe Biden, he finally admitted he has cancer. Getting into it, we've seen all the headlines. This was from his page. Whatever, cancer touches us all, like so many of you. Jill and I have learned that we are the strongest in broken places. Thank you for lifting us up with love and support. So he's admitting to having late-term prostate cancer. We've researched this a little more. This is breaking news. They're finally admitting this, and there's a lot of controversy around it. We've seen his physical and mental decline over the years, especially during his term as president. And there's a lot of
Yeah, I mean, having such late
They
stage
know about
cancer,
this?
they knew that he had cancer for at least a few years.
Oh, they said
We're
it's
gonna
late
be
stage.
oh yeah, they said it metastasized
Yes.
into the bone. It's starting to
we
spread
have
more.
information. We have information that we're going to be pulling up of a doctor specifically, Dr. Stephen Quay, tuning into that in a couple tabs from now. He
So
gets
no
into
wonder-
the details.
No
They
wonder
knew
he was a
about it.
little pissed off at the Democrat Party at the very last second, and probably voted Trump.
No wonder they
What
kept
Jill
the
did.
story till a day and a half after they dropped the interview tapes.
The her tapes were
Gotta
very
push those
revealing,
out of the
and
news.
Yeah.
if we have time, we will share those. But I truly believe that this is a cover up. This is possibly the scandal of our recent times. You know, we're going to look into it. Let's pull this up. We're
Yeah,
going to
if
get into that.
it wasn't for
Well,
COVID, it would be.
I have no doubt that they anticipated him not finishing out his first term and Kamala being the first president.
No,
And
they
they
want
were
to
gonna
force
have
it in
him
one way
step-
or another.
Yes, they were going to have him step down and install her as president because
So
she's
really, they're
unelectable.
mad at each other for not enabling that and for pushing him out also.
So I just have to say, I am thankful to Joe Biden for preventing us from having the first female president. I truly appreciate that. That's the
Yeah,
one thing he
thanks.
did for our country. Thanks, bro.
for getting prostate cancer.
50 years.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks for lasting through the whole term,
I appreciate it. Thank you for your
the whole
longevity.
stolen
Appreciate it.
term.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you for holding out. So you saved our country from Kamala. And here's what our current Vice President, J.D. Vance, had to say on the matter. Vice President J.D. Vance on Biden's cancer diagnosis. Let's see what he had to say.
Speaking of Joe Biden, sir, do you have any thoughts on his diagnosis?
Audio is
Yeah, look,
muffled.
I mean, first of all, of course, we wish the best for the former president's health. And, you know, it sounds pretty serious, but hopefully he makes the right recovery. Like, I will say, whether the right time to have this conversation is now or at some point in the future, we really do need to be honest about whether the former president was capable of doing the job.
Which we all know he
And
wasn't.
That's
Mhm.
no,
He wasn't doing
you know,
the job.
that you can separate
He
the
was not
desire
capable.
for him to have the right health outcome with the recognition that whether it was doctors or whether there were staffers around the former president, I don't think he was able to do a good job for the American people. And
And I'll just stop that there. I think there does need to be an investigation of the staffers and the doctors surrounding him during his term. We need to know, did anybody on
I think
record
I
ever
read
admit
that,
knowing of this?
Senate subpoenas are going out for his staffers today.
What drugs were
Already?
they feeding?
Really?
I want to know what drugs they're feeding him without his knowledge.
That's
wanna-
his
I wanna
wild eyes
know-
he's got going all the time.
I want to know what they were making him sign without him being capable of understanding what he's signing. And this is all
The
kind of
auto
what I hate to say I was right, but the whole presidency was basically his staffers, which are because he was never this woke back in the day. He was
No.
never this bad. And
It was all
it was
Obama and Hillary holdovers running the whole show.
so unbelievably woke, this presidency, that I could tell it wasn't even coming from him. It was from his woke staffers, which are a bunch of 20, 30-year-old psychopaths,
Yes.
Marxists. So it makes
Mostly
perfect sense.
woke white women, mostly. You know,
It all
a
makes
lot of-
perfect sense. And they all had an agenda that Biden wasn't. He'll go along with it to put $1 in his pocket, but he wasn't about that before.
Yeah, Biden will do whatever he needs to do for himself.
Yeah,
he
he
doesn't
goes with the
care. He'll
wind.
sell out. He will. He's even said it on tape. He said, "I'll whore myself
Yeah.
out for $1." He's even said it years ago. He
Yeah.
doesn't care. He has no standards. So that's
No
that
morals.
from our current vice president. I have a couple more tabs on the Biden situation. We have a clip of him himself from a few years ago admitting to having cancer. So this is an old clip from I believe 2022, where he's talking about cancer in our nation, and Joe Biden himself 3 years ago says that's why I and so many others have cancer. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth, shall we?
And because it was a 4-lane highway that was accessible, my mother drove us, and rather than us be able to walk. And guess what? The first frost, you know what was happening? You had to put on your windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window. That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer, and why I can't for the longest time.
Let's play that back real quick. What did he say? He has cancer?
I
Really?
had so
His
damn
weave is not very good.
cancer.
It's a stutter.
What do you guys take from that? Just the stutter, right, journalists? So
Yeah, just a stutter.
that's
None to
why
see here.
I and so many others have cancer. That's what he said from his own mouth. And we're learning now 3 years later that he has cancer. And I don't believe in coincidence. So What do you guys think of that clip? You think it's a little foretelling, a stutter, a misstep, a misspoken sentence, or was
I
he?
think we've
Was it a
all
Freudian
seen
slip?
him let the truth slip quite a bit during his illegitimate administration, and the media always tries to downplay it, but our side always picks up on it, and there's going to be people who don't believe it no matter what, but we know better.
Yeah, if you just
I agree with that.
if you just let them speak, it just kind of comes out. It's especially when you're demented and you don't know what you're doing. So half of it's gibberish, half of it's the truth, and in this case, it clearly was the truth. So, but he even once before basically incriminated himself, saying he was bribing Ukrainian officials, and that was before he was demented.
Yep.
So, I don't know. He might have said it anyway. Who knows?
Yeah, and that's why Barack Obama always said, if you want to F something up, send in Joe Biden, essentially, in more words than that.
The reason why we didn't take it seriously. The reason why we didn't take it seriously at the time is because everything he says is a lie, typically.
Was gibberish, right?
So it's like like 1 out of 100 things he says will be the truth, but you'll have to decipher it. I don't know, because the guy is
It's crazy.
I don't think I've ever seen a liar quite like Joe Biden.
No, he's an expert at it, and
we kind of stopped out
in every various different community imaginable. Remember, he grew up around this people, that church, this church,
yeah,
community, every community.
Yeah, well, he's our first half-black Puerto Rican truck driving president, so
he got booted out. His first campaign was a long time ago. They booted him out because he stole a speech from somebody. I can't remember who, but
yeah,
he stole a speech.
I believe JFK. I think he plagiarized JFK. I do
straight up plagiarized, just stole the whole damn speech.
And we're seeing here that this is blatant. This is from Donald Trump Jr. today. What I want to know is, how did Dr. Jill Biden miss stage 5 metastatic cancer? Or is this yet another cover-up? It metastasized to the bone. He has cancer in his bones now. That takes time to do. And here from Dr. Stephen Quay, prostate cancer is the easiest cancer to diagnose when it first starts, and to watch it progress to bone metastasis. The PSA blood test shows the rate of cancer cell growth. For even with the most aggressive form, it is a 5 to 7 year journey without treatment before it becomes metastatic.
Yep.
A lot of words. Meaning it would be malpractice for this patient to show up and first be diagnosed with metastatic disease in May 2025. It is likely he was carrying a diagnosis of prostate cancer throughout his White House tenure, and the American people were uninformed. That's from Dr. Stephen Quay. So according to this doctor, it's very likely that through his entire time as president in the White House, he had this diagnosis of cancer and kept it under the rug.
I love the quote tweet somebody did on Trump Jr. about Dr. Jill not knowing because, she's not a doctor.
Because she's not a doctor, yeah. Right.
And his quote was never underestimated a liberal's inability to understand sarcasm.
Yeah, so having a PhD and being a doctor are not the same thing. So PhD, you can get a PhD in basket weaving.
And he was being sarcastic, and the liberal was like, "You sure?" He totally believed that he believed she was a real doctor.
You guys think that the Democrat Party just absolutely whiffed a home run here by just forcing Biden out halfway through his presidency by releasing the cancer diagnosis, and suddenly it's Kamala Harris's country? They just missed it. Yeah. They could have easily put her in his place halfway through.
I think they know they just shot themselves in the foot. They should have kept him. They should have tried to elect him, and would have been a better chance.
I don't think he would have won.
Oh no!
Well, I don't think he did in 2020. Either.
Yeah, exactly. He hasn't won yet
against the White House doctor for not releasing this to the public. Isn't his medical records public record? And his doctor would definitely know.
The same doctor as what the hell is his name? The pro defense that was in the hospital for 2 weeks and nobody knew a thing about it.
Oh yeah, Secretary of Defense.
Yeah.
Yes, the black guy that wears the mask all the time. I forget Lloyd Austin. Lloyd Austin.
Austin.
Yeah. Hey,
So
I
he's just
describe
gonna-
him how I describe him.
Speaking of
that's
wearing
what
a
it is.
mask, my security guard from my work, I was driving past her to, she was opening the gate for me because we had a bunch of break-in. My car was broken into and
Oh wow.
pistol was stolen, all kinds of shit. But anyway, there was like 12 break-ins, so we got a security now. And the security guard is working by herself outside, and she's wearing a face mask. And she can barely walk.
Is her employer forcing her to do that, or is she just a retard?
She's just retarded. Like
Okay,
she can barely even walk. She looks like she's walking like she's 70 years old. And I was like, who's she going to protect us from?
Yeah.
They just
It's just a retirement job.
Yeah. Well, there's the people at the Walmart around
there.
here. The guy's got a beard as big as corn boys. He's got a mask and it just like covers up his mouth. Looks completely stupid.
The greeter at my Walmart too, the old man, he wears a mask all the time.
This guy's not that old though. That's the more worrisome part. Just dumb.
Really.
And if you work night shift in my area, which is not particularly safe, like I said, 12 break-ins, I don't think she's alleviating my concerns.
Well, is she hope she doesn't yell taser, 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 then you hear a bang like most females in the security industry.
She can throw
Maybe
she could throw a face mask at him.
We do have news that Karine Jean-Pierre insists Joe Biden is cancer-free. There is that. That's good news for him, and we'll just take her word for it. So he's cancer-free. He's doing well. He's got a high IQ, and looks like he's doing all right, according to her. So
it's the sharpest person she's ever worked for.
Yeah, I would totally believe her. But from 9mm SMG, pretty base dude on Twitter. I do not agree with him all the time, but he posts some interesting stuff. He says what I think we're all thinking about this situation. This is a huge scandal. And he says, pretty enraged right now over the fact that Biden's cancer appears to have been known for about 4 years and covered up. Their big plan being to get him reelected and likely step down to get Harris in. Presidential doctors don't just notice metastatic prostate cancer out of the blue after it's in the bones. This is absolutely insane. They played the entire country. I think he summed that up perfectly. He took the words out of, I think, all of our mouths and said it like it is. And I think it's time to hold some people's feet to the fire. The people that were around him in his administration and medically observing him through his tenure. There needs to be some accountability here because that's just insane. So
yeah, is there what type of accountability could they be liable for? Like, I know there's criminal negligence in some cases. Does this even fall in that category? It's hard to say.
Is this falsifying records by the White House doctor? Or?
Well, how about
they said it was
How about perjuring yourself? I guess if they were brought in to Congress and they say he's perfectly fine, that would be perjury, right? Like, I don't know.
I believe so. I'm not a legal expert, but I'm just assuming these things. I don't know because there are certain medical standards for someone to run for president and hold the office of president, which he was doing both at the same time, running and holding the office. So,
looking at Congress, I think they're pretty lax on those standards.
Yeah,
that's very true. You say the likes of Dianne Feinstein and Pelosi, and
we even had Michigan Congresswoman sleeping at the helm the other day too.
I saw that. Yeah, I think isn't her name Debbie or something?
Debbie something, yeah.
Debbie Dingle.
Yeah.
Debbie
Dingle. Yeah.
That's so much I care about my states.
Look at that picture. He looks like he has prostate cancer.
I know.
You can see it from
What a
here.
shitty situation, man.
I don't know if I have to pee or not.
Yeah, well, he just did right in that picture, actually. The headline is, the script is flipped. Shock cancer diagnosis wipes the Biden auto pen presidency from headlines. So this is changing the narrative in media, it would seem. So the Biden team has been lying their asses off for quite some time. The question is whether it matters or nothing will be done. We've got Alex talking about this all day. The real scandal is the illegitimate auto pen, not the fact that they covered up Biden's mental physical faculties. I believe they both matter. The auto pen, being more so, but this is a legitimate scandal, I believe. Alex saying, this is the biggest scandal in U.S. history. The 2020 was stolen. We know this for a fact. Joe Biden was never the president, and now right on time. Sleepy Joe has aggressive cancer. So if you guys want to check this out, of course, go see InfoWars and listen to what Alex has to say. Here from Stephen Miller, it says Tapper says here that the footage of Biden freezing on stage was not a cheap fake, exact words. So Jake Tapper is admitting, I saw the clip of it, he is admitting that these things were real. And of course, they're going to admit it when the guy's no longer in office. But Brian Stelter
Fake Taper's got books to sell.
Yeah. Brian Stelter's still echoing the same propaganda.
So back to my questions about the legal system, is we know that election fraud is illegal. And I want heads for 2020. That's that first thing he said is the real scandal right there,
agree.
because it's fucking election fraud. It's a felony. So
I agree that is the biggest scandal. Alex did hit the
thousands.
This cancer thing is what it
yeah.
is.
And I was in Wisconsin at the time, and watching that graph just spike in a way that is not possible at 3 a.m. Made me just cringe every time if somebody like Ben Shapiro would go on and say, "Well, Joe Biden won the election fair and square." It's like
we just have to vote harder next time.
It's not mass election fraud. It's only 5 targeted states that they needed, one of which was Wisconsin, and you had a ballot dump that is statistically impossible. We're talking 1 in a trillion.
Yeah, Wisconsin,
Michigan, more votes Georgia. Counted than the machines can even count per hour.
There isn't a county in this country that is 99.9999% Joe Biden.
Not whatsoever. No.
You can't have 100. You can't have 100,000 ballots being dropped at one time, and they all voted at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Nope.
Well, there were mail-in ballots from earlier.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Still,
well,
the ratio is just not. It's not going to be Biden.
Yeah.
Biden, they got to stagger. They don't even try to hide it at this point. So
I don't want to go off on a tangent on this, but
they just figured out how much they needed, and that's how much they implemented.
Point is that's the crime here. So biggest.
I think we assessed it perfectly. Alex did sum it up. The biggest crime is the 2020 fraud, and this cancer thing's just the cherry on top. But moving on from that, we covered that pretty heavily. I think we did a good job with that. Today, President Trump signed into law the Take It Down Act. If you don't know what that is, we're going to get into it. But it is essentially, here from Benny Johnson, a huge step forward in protecting victims of AI-generated revenge, material. Interesting development, as technology changes, laws have to adapt, and there's different things. And of course, many of us, we are small government people. We don't like government being involved in very much, if at all. But this is an interesting case, and there are a lot of they're claiming victims. I don't know, but let's see what the president has to say on this. This isn't the one of him talking. No, this is just the signing of it. But yeah. So essentially, if I'm reading here, this was to protect where the feds can essentially force people get into their account, whatever, to take down revenge, inappropriate materials. So Trump has signed into law; they actually have the authority to do that, and whereas they didn't before. So, I mean, overall, what do you guys think of that? Like, if someone against their will has images posted on the internet, and the government now has the right to force people to take that down.
So there's I feel like there's a little bit of validity to it where, like, let's say there's something that you created and you want to copyright it or something. Well, you kind of already have that as yourself, as a person, right? Like if you have a name,
your likeness,
your name and your likeness is owned by you. If somebody's stealing that and turning it into this perverted shit, I kind of understand where they're coming from as like a theft.
Yeah.
Of, like if you're thinking about it in copyright terms, you know what I mean? So
not even to mention this sexual harassment way of it, and they're targeting people of all demographics here too. In some cases, these online, circles of people. And I think overall, just like with anything, we worry that this could be abused, government overreach. But I think overall, protecting victims of this type of harassment, I think that's overall a good thing.
Oh yeah, you get something with your image up there, even if it's AI or not, it's online. It's can potentially ruin your life. You know, jobs jobs in the future, just family and friends. I mean, just the shame it probably bring on you and your community too for certain people. It can really screw someone up. So
yeah, it could ruin a life. And
have but it also comes down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Comes down to censorship too, like how slippery slope. You know, they make one step to one little bit.
Yeah.
So
and that's why
it just goes for victims and people
that's
that
why
are.
I would say they're using someone's likeness as a copyright strike is how I would kind of approach that argument. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree. Yeah.
But
but they're also framing it in the sexual harassment framework as well, because we're not just talking, you know, your face. They're basically making, you know,
they're harassing you and
severely inappropriate content in a sexual way, right? And posting it publicly, right?
Yeah.
And
and is that fall under defamatory and libel and stuff too? I guess I don't know.
Well, it just goes back to the you know, your freedoms end where mine begins, and
yeah, it's an assault. So that's
and I believe we have the right to privacy too. People don't have the right to infringe upon that, you know. So ultimately, good thing, win for President Trump. I give him a win on that. And another big win for President Trump today. Breaking today, the Trump administration has agreed to a $5 million settlement with Ashley Babbitt's family after she was fatally shot by police during the Jan 6 protest. And I don't even agree with that wording. Fatally shot. She was freaking cold-blooded murdered by that son of a bitch that killed her on January 6th.
Yep.
And
I was going to say, for the record, the only person to die on January 6th.
Because
contrary to the news.
She was totally unarmed. They never talk about that either. She was no threat. And we're not going to even show the footage. It's just gruesome, horrible. Everyone's seen it. You know, we've all seen her.
Didn't the Biden administration give a settlement away to the murderer too?
Oh, he was
awarded a medal.
He went on TV. Yeah. He won MSNBC. Mm-hmm. They were patting him on the back all day long. Because he stopped their far right wing extremists from taking over the Capitol, is what they're saying. Now, I mean, this is how I understand, but not totally agree with Tim Pool constantly spouting civil war. But if you have that kind of rhetoric, it's like, what do you expect?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, Tim Pool likes to throw that around a little bit. I don't think he totally knows what he's talking about when you drop words like that. That's
I think it's part of the grift.
Yeah, I agree. It does it. He does it.
It gets clicks.
Get attention. Yeah. They're like, "Wow, this conservative right wing guy is talking about civil war." It's like, bro, stop it. You're going to be hiding in your basement. Shut up.
No, he isn't either.
No, he's a liberal
who got too much information.
Yeah, he can't.
Eyes were opened up.
He likes the truth, and he happens to be liberal. So I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kind of like
I agree with that.
Kind of like Jimmy Dore, the liberal.
Yeah,
exactly. Same situation.
He's still far left, but he's actually, believes the truth nowadays.
Yeah. At least they come. I mean, if you're going to come at us, at least bring some sort of facts and acknowledge it. So, I respect that. That's what we need in politics. I don't want just one party rule. I don't. Well, I kind of do, but
I agree. You have to have a balance. You have to have opposition. You don't want an echo chamber of any
deception. That's all. Transparency, just like what they're always talking about. That's the key.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm willing to admit that I want one party rule rather than lie about it. So,
right, and wouldn't be totally opposed to that. Not necessarily the Republican Party either. Potentially a new. More American party next.
Just anything MAGA, pro-America. If it ain't pro-America, get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
I agree. And
speaking of get the hell out of here. Sorry.
Yeah, I almost said the F word to quote this.
Am I not supposed to say it? My bad.
No, not that F word. The other F word.
When is this old man?
Let me just say, your flag. This guy's a flag. Okay, so, actor Pedro Pascal takes aim at Trump's administration deportation of illegal migrants. He says,
"I turd burglar."
Yeah, I know.
Can we say turd burglar on YouTube?
Yeah. Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
How about fudge packer?
Butt pirate.
Fudge packer.
That's true too. He's okay. Yeah. I agree with
He
that.
plays all the
Pedro
roles.
Pascal. Diz got it. He's a Melanie Mac word. That's exactly what he is. So let's
He
hear
wasn't
from
even
the,
this bad. I'm sorry to cut you off, but he wasn't even this bad. 10 years ago, like
No.
when he got
Game of
famous on
Thrones
Game
era?
of Thrones, he seemed to be pretty regular. I think something went to his head.
Yeah, then he got TDS.
Well, it was. I think it was the fame, like it came with TDS.
Well,
or
yeah,
something.
he sold his soul. How else do you get put in every movie and TV show?
Because Game of Thrones made him famous. I didn't know who the hell he
Mhm.
was until Game of Thrones season 4, and then I guess that TV show Narcos was pretty big. And he seemed like a
look at
normal
this.
dude. Go ahead.
I agree with Rough Night here. Even Joaquin looks like he wants Pedro to shut the hell up. I totally agree. Look at Joaquin's face as we're doing this. Let's play this clip. Let's see. Look at his
I want
face.
people to be safe and to be
He's like,
protected.
bro, shut the hell up.
And I
Almost
want
giving him
very
the Mel
much to
Gibson
live on the
look.
right side of history. And I'm an immigrant. My parents are refugees from Chile. I myself was a refugee. We fled a dictatorship, and
Did they
I
come
was
here legally,
privileged
though?
enough to grow up in the U.S. And after
right-wing
asylum
dictatorship,
in
they fled,
Denmark,
so they
and
were
if it weren't
communists.
for that, I don't know what would have happened to us. And so I stand by those protections always.
He stands by those protections always. We still have those protections, dipshit. You can still be a refugee. You just have to come here legally. Don't hop the border, and don't break
If
our
your
laws.
family had to flee Chile, they were Marxists and communists. So that's all I got to say.
More than likely.
Just
More than likely.
so like, just kind of like, just
somebody cut his fucking balls off.
Yeah, like they probably have a lot over him, but
That's what I'm saying. He wasn't doing that. I used to watch Game of Thrones interviews because I was obsessed with that show, and he wasn't doing this weird gay shit with his elbow back then. Like, what happened to him? I don't know. Whatever.
Hollywood.
I don't know, man.
Showbiz,
And,
baby.
Look how Figgy.
They take care of their stars.
Maybe he became a Diddy victim or something. I don't know.
Well, look at these guys. This looks like a bit of a Diddy party right here. Look at this. So we got Joaquin in the middle of the gay sandwich. He has his arm up. He's waving to the crowd, and look what Pedro does. Look what Pedro does. He pulls his arm down. Let's play that back real quick. So
Hey,
Joaquin
don't
Phoenix.
do Zeke Heil.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix.
You can't
here.
wave people above your head
Waving.
anymore.
Yeah, he's
But
saying,
I
I
can.
give my heart out to you, and as we do, we give our heart out to people. And that's what he's doing. And look at Pedro. He's like, no, take your arm down. Don't look like Elon, Look at that.
What the hell is he? What?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
he's
like,
still probably like,
bro,
dude,
He's
just
like,
shut
fuck
up.
off.
I know. I'm not even a huge Joaquin fan. Like, he is what
No.
he is. Whatever. Joker was good, I think. Oh, Joker won. But look at
Dude,
this.
Gladiator.
Like, bro,
He's so good in Gladiator.
yes, I think that was his peak movie,
Magnum
Gladiator
opus.
1.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Final thing, we got to wrap this up with Pedro. I'm sick of talking about this guy. But,
Please.
yeah. So it says here, Pedro Pascal went off in profane political meltdown at the Cannes. Is it pronounced Cannes?
Cannes.
Cannes.
Cannes
And got
Film
applause.
Festival.
Cannes Film Festival. You're right. And got applause. Gina Carano got fired for a meme. So he can go off on a political speech meltdown at a festival and get applause, stay employed by Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Gina Carano gets fired for posting a meme, and mind you, a factual meme too, that was speaking the truth. So it says here, it's becoming impossible to ignore the way Hollywood treats Pedro Pascal compared to the way it treated Gina Carano. Pedro Pascal stood in front of the international press at the Cannes, dropped an F-bomb on political opponents in the United States, promoted a fan film that vilifies conservatives, and walked away with applause and headlines. Meanwhile, Gina Carano, who said far less without profanity or attacks, remains blacklisted from Hollywood, forced to take her fight to court. So forget about this. And they say it perfectly. That's the double standard on full display. I totally agree with that. I mean, on its face, what do you guys think of this initially? He can spout off at this festival, say all this profanity-ridden stuff about conservatives, but she posts a meme.
All it really is confirmation of what we already knew, because this is the exact same thing that's been happening with him and her for since it began, right? Because it started with her saying something relatively based and him freaking out at the same time, and they fired her. And now this is just validation of our point that it's rules for thee and not for me, and it's really who is on their team. If you're on they're like, if you're on our team, we'll give you everything you ever wish for. If you're not on our team, we'll destroy your life and try to kill you.
Yeah. And it comes down to it sucks with what's going on with Gina, but at the same time, it might be a good thing just for exposing anything they can in court with Discovery and stuff through Disney.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it is absolutely exposing the double standard for your thoughts and beliefs in Hollywood. Either you shut up or you fall in line. It's so.
I have no doubt Marvel's troubles and Star Wars troubles ever since then is pretty correlated with this.
Oh, absolutely. With identity politics through and through.
Wasn't she the biggest star on Mandalorian season 1?
I believe so.
Like all I could hear about was
breakout recurring star.
The biggest, if not one of the biggest up and coming. Even if she was shooting to the top of the billboards there, and they just totally cut her legs out from under her just because she said one thing that was truthful, factual, and they didn't like it.
She just cautioned people not to vilify their neighbors. I don't understand what the issue
pretty
was.
much. Much. And as she says, don't destroy my life with lies when I can destroy your life with the truth. That's
they wanted them to vilify people to vilify their neighbors. It's all
for COVID.
It was their big push to basically take over control of the entire world, and it failed miserably.
It did. It was the globalist Gestapo. And they wanted us to rat out, oh, look they're having a party. They have 3 people over for Christmas. Let's call up on them and rat them out.
And it ain't a conspiracy, and it's not a conspiracy when the WEF is saying it, and the WHO is saying it, and all these other organizations that are full of globalists are saying it, and they're all global leaders getting together, talking about how they're going to take over, just like Spectre and the Bond films. This is not a fucking conspiracy. If they're talking about it on a regular basis, they're telling us what they're doing. They're telling us. So,
and we're never gonna live through. We're never gonna accept that ever. What were you gonna say, Jeff?
I was gonna say it's kind of funny reading his quotes. F the people that try to make you scared. Fear is the way they win. Keep expressing yourself. Don't let them win. That's exactly what they're doing, though. To people that don't listen to them, like even in 2020 and all that, be scared, lock in your house, like you were saying, calling on your neighbors, they're having a party, whatever. They're doing the exact same thing. They did that to Gina. They did use her as an example, and that's their way of using fear to keep people on their right, straight and narrow.
What do they have to be afraid of? Trump is not even going after political opponents or people that disagree with him. So what do they even have to be afraid of? They get to do whatever the hell they want. Apparently, they get to murder people in cold blood.
He's the big scary orange boogeyman. He's the boogeyman to them. They think they're delusional.
All their fears are projected onto him. Yep.
Stop wars all over the world and make.
And I hate to say it, but the Trump administration hasn't proven that they're going to go after enough people yet either. So people that have committed crimes, I'm still waiting. So
I wanna see him throw the book at some people. That's for sure. And speaking of that, we're gonna get into that. We're already having a Trump effect on the mainstream media. Thankfully, that's the next subject. So I look forward to that. Let's just quickly wrapping this up. We only have 10 minutes to go. Basically, screw you, Pedro Pascal. We stand with the film he was talking about, the film itself is set in New Mexico during the 2020 lockdowns and features a clash between Pascal's left-leaning mayor and Joaquin Phoenix's sheriff. The story has been described by critics as a direct attack on conservative populism. The film attacks conservative populism. What a concept. That's so new to Hollywood. Set in a town tearing itself apart, Variety praised its aggressive tone and message, with Pascal calling the script a form of whistleblowing and saying it felt like someone was finally speaking out from the inside. Wow, what a rebel. What a rebel. He's finally speaking out. Hollywood has never spoken out against conservatives or populists ever before.
No.
This man is so stunning and brave. Look at him with his gay sweater.
And he's siding with Pfizer. All the megacorp, like Amazon, all the megacorps that doubled their stock value because they shut down every other fucking business in the world. It was a cash grab. The biggest cash grab in history. The biggest cash grab in history.
Yeah. It was a total scam.
Transfer of wealth.
Amazon doubled its stock, Pfizer doubled its stock, and everybody else couldn't even do business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
and
pretty messed
not
up.
to mention that Disney, of all companies, got pretty damn rich off that too.
Good
And
for you,
people-
Pedro, being on the side of the little guy, Pfizer.
What a rebel, man! He's standing up for the little people, and even
Oh,
here
yeah.
it says there's been no public reprimand from Disney for these comments. Of course not. No distancing from Marvel, no statement from Lucasfilm, and there won't be. Pascal remains the star of The Mandalorian and Grogu, and is still playing a prominent role in Avengers: Secret Wars as Reed Richards, head of the Fantastic Four. So, yeah, we know the Gina Carano thing. She posted that talking about World War II, comparing it to COVID, secret police, And then he can go off and post this, losers, 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 conflating all these three things to be in line, and he never gets reprimanded.
That didn't age well, did it?
No, it didn't. No, it did not. So, whatever. Moving on from that.
You should put a question mark. Should put a question mark after losers on the last one.
I know. I might have to do that. That might have to get modified here pretty quickly. So
did they lose? Did they really lose?
Did we though?
Did they really? I don't think so. Did he
Just show the chart of the 3M ballot dump. Have you seen the 3M ballot dump on Trump's head as his hair, his wig?
Yeah,
it's his profile, and it has the 3M ballot dump as his hair piece.
That's awesome.
See that. Final subject. President
I
Trump
hope they lose $10 billion.
is suing CBS for $10 billion. $10 billion. The fake news is crumbling before our eyes. Trump sued CBS after they deceptively edited a 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris. Do you remember that, guys? This was like a super long interview where she was stumbling and mumbling, and she looked freaking drunk. And they edited and clipped the heck out of it. And they said, no, we didn't.
I watched it, but I remember it being a big deal at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
absolutely. We have the comparison here, 39-second clip. Let's see this. Actual answer versus edited answer, the side by side. Let's see what she said.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war.
So it goes from dragging on to like sharp, quick, witty answer, like right off the bat.
Yeah, she goes from she's stumbling into a word salad, which is I can't even come up with a word salad right now. I'm so fucking wasted off of Chardonnay.
Words are hard.
Yeah, I think all public figures that are being interviewed need to be live, unedited.
I don't even care if they're drunk. I don't even care if they're drunk as long as they have good policy.
Honestly, making them drink a little bit might make the truth come out. They might slip something, and it might even be helpful. So
yeah, that's why when they were accusing Hegseth of being an alcoholic, I wanted him to just go up there and down a bottle of Jack and say "fuck off."
Yeah, go to the DOJ. Pete, please down a bottle and go to the DOJ and just rip stuff up.
No more queers in the military.
That's right. It says here,
right.
CBS News CEO Wendy McMahon has resigned as Trump lawsuit threatens network stability and Paramount merger.
Oh,
so
no.
their
Anyway.
CEO of CBS, she has resigned. I'm so sad. The media industry was rocked Monday morning as CBS News CEO Wendy McMahon resigned, citing internal disagreements and mounting challenges. Her departure follows the exit of longtime 60 Minutes producer Bill Owens, both of whom played central roles in CBS's editorial leadership during one of its most turbulent periods in recent history. So that is what we like to call the Trump effect, guys. Don't mess around with him. He will get you, and he's suing for $10 billion right now. Think about that, $10 billion. A billion being 1,000 million times 10. So
is he
maybe too soon to be the Trump broadcasting network?
TBS.
Hopefully it doesn't affect shows like Landman and Mobland.
Oh, I love those
That's
shows.
true.
I've watched.
I need to see Mobland.
Dude, is it good?
Have you seen it?
Yes, I was this most recent one last night. Yeah,
Isaac, I watched the first 6 episodes in a row after work the other day. I was only supposed to watch 2. I was only supposed to watch 2 and go to bed, and I was just like,
they're really good.
Nope, I'm watching.
You were hooked.
Yeah. Tom Hardy is fantastic.
He's a fantastic actor.
Well, all of them, I suppose. Yeah.
But he's especially good. You know.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm a big fan of a lot of the people. Doesn't it have Pierce Brosnan?
Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren.
Dude, Pierce Brosnan has not been in nearly enough movies. He's a great fucking actor. He's not just James Bond. He's a great fucking actor.
He was a good James Bond, though. To be
one of the best.
Well, his character in this show, he comes off as like nice, but it's just evil nice. It's kind of keeps you on edge anytime he's in the room. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to see that. Gary, Nerdrotic, he's been raving about it. He said the show is like one of the best things in quite a while. So, and Landman was fantastic.
The Gentleman.
Watched every episode of that.
You need to watch The Gentleman too, because that's Guy Ritchie. It's
I've never seen that.
It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix, and it came out about a year ago or something. But Gary loves that too. But basically, it's Guy Ritchie and it's similar style, but it's a lot more comedy based, and it's fucking hilarious.
I'm a big fan of Guy Ritchie. I recently watched The Covenant last night with
The Gentleman is the best thing Guy Ritchie has produced, and then Mobland is getting there. So I have to see the end. I have to see the end. So, but all right, we can move
Guy
on.
Ritchie's fantastic. Yeah, no, Guy Ritchie's fantastic.
Derailed.
Oh yeah,
I've never seen anything from him I don't like. So he's
yeah,
great. Final
Snatch
subject.
Yeah.
President Trump announces that Russia and Ukraine will immediately begin ceasefire negotiations following an excellent call with President Putin. And mind you, that call was 2 hours long this afternoon, over 2 hours. So Trump was on the phone with Putin all afternoon. And let's see how that works out. Russia wants to do large-scale trade with the United States. And the new Pope has stated that it would be very interesting in hosting the negotiations. So the Vatican reached out to President Trump, Putin, and Zelensky, and said we would happily host trade negotiations with these two on common ground. So I think that's a pretty cool development, if I do say so myself. I mean, President Trump did say, if you elect me, I will end this war. I'll stop the killing. I'll stop the bloodshed over in the East. What do you guys think? Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think Trump can arrange for this to quiet down Russia, Ukraine, or what's your thoughts?
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's clearly something he promised and really wants to do. He's been pushing for it. He's got two. One idiot. I think Zelensky is a fool, and I think Putin is an asshole. So he's got.
I think it all depends on how backed in a corner Zelensky is and how much support he thinks he has from the rest of the international community.
So
and the Democrats.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to bring up is no matter what Trump's doing with these talks back and forth between the two, the rest of the EU and other nations are undermining it by doing their own deals with Zelensky and trying to make their own deals, making their own donations and arms and stuff like that. It's like,
and they're
just because they don't like Trump. That's it.
They keep funding the war.
They're going to fail if he has to rely on the EU. They're going to fail because the EU is not even protecting its own borders in their own countries.
No,
they've been too relaxed for too long on our dollar.
That's what I'd say if I was Trump. I'd say good luck with the EU. They won't even protect themselves.
Right, and I think Ronan makes a great point. Zelensky is probably running very dry. Even despite the help he's getting from the EU. So without us, like we do say, the EU.
I mean, how many more military-age men do they have to throw at the meat grinder? You know,
that's why they're asking for U.S. and British troops. That's why they keep.
Must not be running that low because he's been able to fly around the country every single day or around the world every day of the week.
No, he's fine. He's got billions. He's a billionaire. You know that, right?
It wasn't before the war, I bet you.
No. And I wonder where the money came from. It came from
he and all his best friends are billionaires now.
Our pockets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Him and Hunter Biden have a similar hobby too. They like
him to take a deal. If he takes a sweet deal with Trump, he's the luckiest man that ever lived because he just got to facilitate a war and put billions of dollars in his pocket of our money, and he gets away with it.
Being a CIA actor, basically,
gets away with it. So take the deal, man. fucking fool.
I agree. Bail out, go retire, get lost. You know,
And because Russia's going to keep that land anyway, and the people
Yeah.
that live in that area, they already are pro-Russia anyway. You're just going to constantly be fighting battles. So
they are sick of it, and we should be too. And I think we are. And I think Trump's going to say, "Cut it out." So good for him. And that wraps that up. We're done with all the tabs. We got through them all. What do you know? We got through all the tabs tonight.
30?
Yeah. I don't think it was exactly 30. No, I don't think
you answered all the questions, Isaac. Good job.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for showing up. We're gonna just hit the chat one more time. We got Jake, we got Ronan, we got Diz, we got everybody who showed up. Appreciate it tonight.
Thanks for coming out and watching, you guys.
Absolutely. Episode 10, guys. You know, you guys are in here every week. I appreciate you all very much. We're having fun, still figuring it out. I mean, it's only 10 weeks, but I still consider myself very new to it, as I think a lot of us in this community are. We're just trying to have fun, you know, and do some good stuff.
Get a little something off of our chest every week. Why not?
Yeah,
it's healthy.
Exactly.
If you don't expect too much from us, we promise to deliver.
Exactly. Keep those expectations very low. Yeah.
We promise you to have a good time and laugh our ass off, though. We'll promise you that.
Absolutely.
So that's what you're looking for, and we'll give it to you.
Yeah, we're working on it. We'll
cheers, Jake.
Adjust things. If you guys have any suggestions in the chat, if you ever have things you want us to talk about on the stream, tag me on Twitter, on X, anytime. You know, I'm more than welcome to viewer suggestions. And Naganol is hitting it up. I was just going to drop that in chat. We're going to go raid into ABF stream right now. But first, we're going to quick outros. We've got Cornboy. We've got you linked.
Follow me on X at Cornboy. Been that name since 2008. Easy to find. And mainly just post the videos and live shows as I watch. So if you're ever looking for a show to watch, check my feed.
Absolutely. We got your link right there. So guys, go click that. You better be following Cornboy. If you're not, do it. And we got Magnum. We got your link below too, man. Where are you going to be at?
I mean, I'm on X. I'm not very active at the moment, but I'm ramping up at the moment. I'm getting my setup the way I like it. I just ordered some more equipment, getting my computer the way I need it, and you'll be seeing some stuff in the future. But for the moment, I'm going to continue streaming with Isaac and Nerd Wars as long as they'll have me. So you'll keep seeing me. You'll keep seeing me on Monday and Tuesday nights with these two guys. And you'll keep seeing me send crazy ass super chats that should get me blocked from YouTube. But
I'm still here. I gotta be honest. When I see those
any other way
on G&G and Nerd Wars, I see, oh damn, Magnum dropped a super chat. What's it gonna say? I always laugh every time.
Sometimes they hit, sometimes they miss, but you know, I'm not ABF. I don't always.
But they're always
hit.
there.
Yeah.
So, and Jeff, we appreciate you being on. We like what you're doing. I got all your links below. Tell people what you're up to and doing on here.
Yeah, no, you got my personal channel. It's Jeff Up North. I basically just trying to cover the ancient copper mining up here in Michigan here. So, no video last week. I was busy with something, but one coming out this week. Should be having that up by Friday morning. And then also Friday nights, I do a show with a couple of buddies, Drink Up. So that's always a good time. It's 7 o'clock Central. 6 o'clock Central.
Show. That's a funny show.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep. Yeah. Just kind of having a few beers and just BSing. So
we got that link below too.
I think I'm going to raid you. I got Friday off.
Thanks.
Nice.
Excellent.
So we appreciate you, Jeff. You always have some base stuff to say. I know you're not like a political total junkie kind of autist like we are kind of sometimes, but you know your
kind
stuff.
of closeted.
You know your stuff. You know your stuff though, and it's great to have you on. And you're welcome anytime. Always have a seat at the table. So
appreciate
you. We appreciate all you guys. See you later, Rizkit, Jake, Wayfair, everybody. We're gonna end the stream, and we'll catch you guys for episode 11 next Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you then, and have a good week.